Hi, everyone. We're back to another episode of The Janelle Show, and I am here with Hani Anis, and I'm so excited to have her here with you guys to share her story because Hani Anis is the founder and CEO of Kahani Digital and Anis Collections, which would be great for your marketing needs because she started in the investment banking world and stopped to take a few sharp turns towards freelancing with influencer Natalie Barbeau to launching her own digital marketing agency and her own South Asian bridal wear brand. Hani also offers a unique perspective in the world of entrepreneurship, digital marketing, multiple streams of income, and how to balance it all. Hi, Hani. How are you today?
Hi, Janelle. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm so excited to talk to you because I actually just got back from India. I was there, yep.
Wow.
I was there in
Okay.
January, yep. And I went for a big fat Indian wedding.
Oh
And
my gosh, so cool.
it's always been my dream since I was like 12. So I'm serious. Like I know other little girls dream of their wedding. No, I was dreaming of going to an Indian wedding. Like I have no idea what I want for my wedding, but I'm like, I need to go to an I was obsessed with Bollywood as a teenager.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Well, so was I. So yeah.
Well, that makes sense for you, but for me, not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
So
was
cool.
reading your website and everything. So tell me more about how your business, how you got started, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, so Anis Collections, I pretty much started like I to start out with, I don't have a background in fashion. I didn't go to fashion school. I just liked it. I liked Indian clothes. And the funny part about this story is that when it came time to apply to colleges, I was looking at Parsons or FIT or like FITM. I made a portfolio and I never submitted it. And then 2017 came around and I started my own company in fashion. So it's a really funny circular story. But yeah, 2017 I was graduating. I had studied finance and business and I didn't have a job lined up like my friends did. So in that sense, I wanted to do something like just do something different. And we'd gone to India that winter break, and my dad's friend who had always manufactured my clothes was talking about getting into business in the US. And at the time, a lot of my friends were older and they were starting to get engaged, get married. My people in my family were starting to get married. So Maryland's not really a hub for like Indian clothes or
Mm-hmm.
um, just like there is no place for us to go to. Going to India is super expensive and you don't get that much time off. I mean, I'm sure as you just went, it's like a lot of travel for going all the way there and then you have to come back in 10 days. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just a huge stressor for people when they get married. They're like, where am I going to get my stuff? And so looking around, I was just like, okay, my dad's friend said this. There's not really anything here. Let's try it. So that's what I said to my parents. I was like, why don't we do this? And we did some market research. We went to New Jersey to look around for like in their stores and see what pricing was like, what people carried. And I'd shopped in New Jersey before myself in a pinch. And I just found that the clothes were super overpriced. They were out of fashion. Like they were kind of old fashioned for what they were selling. And then the quality wasn't the best. So I wanted to create a company that was custom made to order. In order to be size inclusive, people could customize to what they wanted to, because my pain point of shopping in India too was that they're not very size inclusive at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I had to go to
at
like
all.
12 different stores to get three dresses. And I'm like, I'm not that big. I'm bigger, but not that big.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like average size for them is like a 2 to 4, and average size here is not that at all. Like I myself, I'm an 8 to 10. So like for me too, it was a struggle.
Mhm.
And what's really funny is when brides email me, they say like I'm a plus size bride, and then I ask them their sizing, and they're like maybe a 10, and I'm like you're not plus. Like you think that because of the size discrepancy. So anyway, I wanted to facilitate all those elements in my own brand, and I actually didn't start with custom. I started wholesale to retail, and then I very quickly pivoted into custom, and that's pretty much all I do now. I do custom bridesmaids, groomsmen, and grooms. And then like if family wants stuff, my friends want stuff, things like that. So it's very much made to order. and made decide. So that's how I started my fashion company.
I love that. So you had somebody that your friend that was in the industry, so it gave you a little bit of an advantage because for me,
Thank
I would
you.
be like, I don't know how I would start a fashion line. Not that I want to, but I don't know how I would start a fashion line. So for somebody thinking about starting a fashion line, what advice would you give them?
I would say network is one of the pieces I give just in general if you want to start a business because they don't I don't think had I gone to school for fashion, like yes, I would have learned how to sew and like the pattern making and all of that, but I don't think I would have actually learned the business as well as you do in real time.
Mhm.
So by networking, you actually learn from the people that like have done it before, and then you can ask questions like, what do you wish you did back then? What did you do wrong? Where did you like mess up? What would you go back and fix? So stuff like that, and that really helps. And honestly, it opens up doors too, because when you talk to people, your idea can help you connect to other people and they can recommend other things and it just spirals that way. So that's the first thing. And then second thing is usually market research. When I went in, I went to like all my competitors and I basically said, I was like, I'm a bride to be. What, how do I like shop here? And so they walked me through their entire custom process. And that's where I saw gaps in the industry that I wanted to fill. So yeah.
Yeah, I always suggest like when I have somebody that's starting a business, I'm like, call your competitors and
Yeah.
pretend you want a proposal from them and and they'll give you everything that you need.
Yep.
Just
Yeah. Just like that. And
like that.
it's like, I mean, I feel like when I started too, and we would do these trade shows, I would see my competitors come into my booth and ask me the same questions. And I knew not to like give them too much information because I knew exactly how it was.
Mhm.
So everybody does it. You just have to find like a strategic way to do.
Yeah, I even told this girl the other day, I was like, have a friend call them so that,
Yeah.
yeah, there's no flags raised. They won't know the difference. So
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta figure it out some way.
Yeah, you do. And it's the best way to like I feel like it's the best way to get information from someone again doing it in real time, whereas you're gonna be sitting there. The internet is your friend to a certain extent, but
Mhm.
Google doesn't answer all those like very practical questions about how do you deal with a client? What happens when something goes wrong? How do you do that? Like it's not as it's more generic and it's not going to be applicable when you're actually in the situation.
Right. That makes complete sense. Yeah. So you need the real life experience in order for you to be able to learn what you need to learn. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. So then after that, you pivot to another business, right?
Yeah, one wasn't enough. I'm
Right.
just kidding. It totally was, but um the pandemic hit in 2020 and the wedding industry completely shut down. Unfortunately, and people's weddings were moved and our business and my manufacturing teams are in India. I have 5 of them and India suffered a lot worse than we did. And so they were shut down probably till August-ish of that year. And I mean, I had more time on my hands. I went back to a corporate job and then I started working at an agency as well. And I noticed I liked small business marketing way more than corporate marketing. And um, so I got freelance clients too, because again, I had more time on my hands when one
Right.
business was not running. Um, and I got freelance clients. And then September came around, and weddings were back, and I had my hands really full. And by December, I was exhausted. I talked to my parents and I was like, look, corporate, I really don't like it. I love this agency job. I love freelancing. And obviously, I love my first business. I think I need to leave again. Um, and so my parents and I, we like did the financials and all of that because I think that is very important when you decide to quit your job. You need to look at that stuff. And we decided it was time for me to leave my job one more time. And so I did. And we're now a year and 6 months later after that point, and we're okay. So leap of faith. I did that then. And at that point, my plan was freelance full time. I had clients wanting more projects. So I quit in February last year and told my clients that, hey, now I'm full time. If you have any more things I can take on, let me know. And so my clients told their friends, and then their friends came, and then pretty soon I had more than I could handle, on top of another company. So I say it this way, that the agency was formed very um sporadically. I want to say it
Mhm.
wasn't planned. It just, because I had so much work, I needed to hire an employee, and then that's how it came to be. With my first business, it was a lot of like, we registered the company, we did the branding, we did the website, and then we launched the clothing line. With this, it was that, okay, I have my hands full. I register the company now, I come up with a name, and then the branding and the website. I didn't have a website till this year, like January. And that we're talking about last April when
Right.
I started. So yeah.
Yeah, and it happens like that. It's just that's I think those are the best businesses, right? Because I really do. I really do. I
I
love
hope
when
so.
it's fun. I love when it's spontaneous like that. But I wanted to go back because I feel like I love how much input that your family that yeah what
Yeah.
they have a lot of input on what you say. I know that that's cultural for you because I've been around a lot of Indian culture. It doesn't happen in my culture. I really make my own choices.
Yeah.
um how do you feel about that? I know it's your norm for you, but how do you feel about that? Do you, now that you're full time in your business, do you constantly go back and ask them for advice on things? Do they help you make your decisions, or do you make all your decisions?
So I think it's 50-50. So with Anis Collections, my parents are like, we're partners in the
Okay.
business. So it's so with that one, my dad runs the finances and all the legal and accounting. He handles all of that. My mom handles communication with the overseas team. Most of them, I handle one of them. And then besides that, I am the marketing, I am the like client facing, I'm the designer. So everything else is my plate. But when it comes to major decisions about that company,
Yes.
we handle it together, but as like business partners. But now where it can be challenging, and we had to establish boundaries with that, was that, we're sitting at the dinner table, we're eating dinner, something about the business comes up, and everybody gets up in arms and gets like mad at each other about something. And then now we're like in a bad mood with each other because we were talking business at the dinner table. So really, we had to set boundaries on like when we're going to talk business, how we're going to feel about it, and how that's not going to spill over into our home life. Because I mean, we also live together.
Right.
I moved out for a little bit during the pandemic, but because of how much I travel for the agency job, it made sense to me to just be at home,
Mhm.
and not paying rent. So yeah,
Yes.
biggest factor. So it's like, how do we keep that balance? With Kahani, on the other hand, that was a business I started solely on my own, even investment wise, like it was bootstrapped by me, not my parents. So decision making on that, I make a lot of the decisions myself. If I need advice on like the accounting side, the finance side, legal, any of that, I will ask my dad for it. If I want to get an outside perspective, I will go outside as well, and he's okay with it. Um, but yeah, with Kahani, it's a lot more independent also because they don't really understand the social media space that well.
Mhm.
So it's very new to them, and they can't really offer that much like tangible advice there.
Right. No, definitely. I love it. I love it. So then I wanted to talk to you about, let me see something I saw here. So, okay, so now you're doing really well. You have the website up, you're getting, so are all of your clients coming from referrals now? Still?
Y- Yes and no. I think majorly most of them, I mean, word of mouth is pretty powerful, right? So
Yes, yes, yes.
referrals is my most common one, but then now I'm getting people from social media, from like PR, from then just my contact form and Google as well.
Okay, good. Some good SEO working there for you.
Yeah, we love that.
Yes, we do. So, okay, I love it. I love it. I also wanted to ask, for any new entrepreneurs who are starting a business, I'd love to get one nugget. I know you gave us some advice on, networking and all of that. What other bit of advice do you have for any budding entrepreneurs? Because you're a fairly new entrepreneur, less than 5 years or so, I would say. So, what advice would you give to them?
I think if you're, especially if you're a young entrepreneur, you get really bogged down by the imposter syndrome or what people will think. And I would say to like separate that from what you actually want. If you're passionate about something, n- nothing should be able to stop you from doing it. And especially an external force. What I've learned is I used to be very concerned about that when and I started my first company literally in college as people were going through these major transitions and moving out, getting those corporate jobs, all of that. And it was hard in that moment because I would watch all of it happen and be like, I'm sitting here like doing this thing that's so different. If you're passionate about something at the end of the day, it's the biggest reward because you'll go into just anything as a whole and be very fulfilled at the end of the day. And like loving your job is actually very fulfilling. Every single day you're like excited to get to what you're doing. And I'm not saying every day is great either, but 90% of the time, even if I'm working on something I really don't like, I'm still enjoying my like whole situation, you know? So yeah, that's the biggest piece of advice.
Okay, I love that. Thank you so much. What is your ultimate dream right now?
Oh wow, gosh, my ultimate dream.
Mhm.
Um, I would say my ultimate dream is to have, that quintessential New York City agency office with like my staff, my team, really close knit team, working on some really cool, like experiential projects for corporate clients. Like that is my major, like ultimate dream right now.
Where would you be living in New York? If you have the quintessential office, what part of New York are you living in?
So that's such a
Really?
cliche answer.
Mine is the Upper East Side. I'm like, I totally live on the Upper East Side.
It's so quiet. I
I
love
know,
it.
I love it. I love because I can go to the hustle and bustle. I love walking down like 72nd, walking to Central Avenue, Central Park.
Yeah.
I love it all. I love it.
I just love the city. I could be living anywhere in the city and probably be happy. I just love it. And I might be saying that because I'm from Maryland and we don't get that like hustle and bustle here.
Right. And I live in Atlanta, so but I'm from New York. So
Oh,
I try to get back as often as I can, not with COVID and stuff, but
yeah.
I try to get back as often as I can because I just love being in the city. It's just something about it. I don't know what it is, but it's just
Yeah. It's like the energy and just the people and it's something else.
yeah, definitely. My last question for you is a book. I love to read. I'm obsessed with reading. Like every week I read a different book. So I love to get from you a must-read book, whether it's about business or just something that changed your life. What book would you suggest for the listeners?
Okay, so a book I'm reading right now, like I'm in the middle of it and it's been pretty eye-opening and good. And it might be one you've heard of. It's I don't remember the entire title, but it's Attached and it's about the attachment theory.
I
It
haven't heard of that one.
I cannot remember like the entire title. Um, but yeah, if you Google Attached and like book, you'll see it. It's on the cover, it has this like magnet and a heart on it. And basically what it's about is like how people form attachments and like the theory behind that. Not only for romantic relationships, but just like all relationships as a whole. And I find that I'm in a space where I interact with a lot of people. So knowing stuff like that can be interesting to like, I guess, read people better.
Yes. And does it teach you about unattaching?
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten there yet, but yes.
But is in there. Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Yeah, definitely. I'm totally into all of that stuff. Cord cutting, cutting energy and all of that type of stuff. So
yes,
that sounds like a good book. Okay. Thank you. I found it online. So definitely
okay,
going to get that one. Thank you.
of course.
Please tell us where people can connect with you, what services you're offering, your social media. Give us the rundown on all of that.
Yeah, so I think Instagram is the major hub for everything, so I'm gonna
Mhm.
leave that. My bridal company's Instagram is anis.collections1, and we offer custom made to order outfits that are South Asian inspired. So bridal, bridesmaids, grooms, groomsmen, and then I've done like some unique event wear pieces as well for just like anyone who's looking for something that's their style, but then also fused with like a designer element. So yeah, that's that website or that Instagram. You can find our website through that. And then My agency is Kahani Digital, so Kahani dot digital. And we offer social media strategy management, um, emails, blog posts, basically the works of digital marketing and PR. And we custom build packages for each client there too. So it totally depends on what you need, and we can make it happen.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And those links are going to be down in the show notes below if anybody wants to take a look and reach out to Hani. Hani, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Oh, thank you so much. I love talking to you.
Yes, thank you. You guys have been listening to the Janelle Show. Thank you for being here. We're here every Sunday at 10 a.m. Have a great day.